Welcome to the Puberty Prof Podcast, where information and tools are shared to help you have conversations about puberty and other growing up topics. Here is your host, Lori Reichel, the Puberty Prof, a nationally recognized health educator, author of the award-winning book, Common Questions Children Ask About Puberty, and creator of the Talk Puberty app.
Welcome to the Puberty Prof Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lori Reichel, the Puberty Prof. This is a mini episode covering 3 items. A reminder that the trivia game ends each season of the Puberty Prof Podcast, and that will be released next week on Tuesday. I would also like to say a thank you to my guests and remind all of the listeners about what available tools you can go to if you want to have more information about puberty and other growing up topics. So number 1, the trivia game is being released next week. So the 13th episode of this Spring into Summer series is the trivia game. And basically, the game goes over certain points covered in the last 12 episodes. Which brings us to 2 on this mini episode, my point here. Number 2 is that I would like to thank my guests for being on the Puberty Prof Podcast. This podcast is so successful because of the guests as well as you, the listeners. So for the guests, these are some of the guests that were on. Actually, let me list all of the guests. We had Caitlin McGuire, who talked about period products. Dr. Ryan Fisk, he talked about common questions about most boys. And then Megan was on to talk about breasts and breast development, as well as how we best support breasts. And then we had Jen Mead, who is a health educator. She has some great tools on some websites. So you can check out her websites by going to those episodes. She talked about effective communication skills. We also had goal setting with young people and planning, and that was with a colleague of mine at another university, Miss Jackie Topsinski. We had some authors, the author of Parent Compass, Compass, and that was Cindy Mucknick. And then we had Cynthia Klein, who talked about how do you cooperate with young people, turning conflict into cooperation. And then last but not least, Dr. Irene Kuchina. She just recently won an award in her state, and she talked about advocacy. So I thank all of my guests so much for being on the Puberty Prof Podcast. And my last thing to go over in this mini episode is to remind you, the listeners, of the tools that are available, in which if you know someone that could use a tool to learn more about puberty and growing up, or how to talk to a young person, please ask them to check out this podcast, the Puberty Prof Podcast. We have over 100 episodes at this point. And so excited about that. And also the Talk Puberty app. I keep on hearing from people how they learn so much by checking out this app. And it's really neat. The app has different sections. So if you go to the section, let's say you go to the section of common questions about most girls, you'll see a simple question and then a simple answer. It's age and developmentally appropriate. And my app coder, I care about so much. He did a really great job putting it all together for me. But that app is available to help families talk about puberty topics. It's a cue to action, if I say it like that. And then there's also the Common Questions Children Ask About Puberty book. It is available on Amazon. It's less than $10, I believe, these days. So I'm the author of it, and it's the Common Questions Children Ask About Puberty book. It has won the Bragg Medallion Award, the Bragg Medallion Medal, the Wishing Shelf Bronze Award, and then it's also a Mom's Choice Gold Award. So check that out. So again, this is a mini episode. I want to remind you, trivia game is going to be released next week, which is Tuesday, August 1st. August is coming. And then thank you so much for my guests. The reminder of those tools that are available. And I will add on too, thank you so much for listening in. I appreciate you just getting more information and providing feedback to me. So thanks so much. And I hope you have a happy and healthy day.
Thank you for listening to the Puberty Prof Podcast, where information and tools are shared to help you have conversations about puberty and other growing up topics. Did you enjoy this episode? Please like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow the Puberty Prof on Twitter or Instagram. The Puberty Prof, Lori Reichel, wants to hear from you. Go to pubertyprof.com or click on the link in this episode's description. There you can find more information, as well as ask questions to be answered by the Puberty Prof in a future episode. That's pubertyprof.com. Also, remember to check out the Talk Puberty app and the book, Common Questions Children Ask About Puberty. Until next time, this is the Puberty Prof Podcast, where information and tools are shared to help you have conversations about puberty and other growing up topics.